Hello. Hello, beautiful beings. It is so good to see you today. How are you? And yeah, how is life on this wonderful and amazing day? Um, yeah, I'm feeling actually quite grounded today. It's so interesting to say that with so much of the chaos that's been going on collectively and throughout the world for us all. And I don't think that means that the chaos is stopping anytime soon, but perhaps we're getting a breath of fresh air to sort of find our ground and to find our space. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I'm really looking forward to being here with you today. As you join in or as you're watching, feel free to leave any questions you might have. Let me know where you're from. And yeah, I'd love to answer. I usually spend anywhere from half an hour to an hour. And I always start with tuning in with a message from the cards, from the angels, from the guides for the next sort of week. What are we stepping into? And so let's start there. So I'm feeling the call and the pull to start today with my herbal cards. These are from Maya Toll, and I am a plant herbalist. And yeah, I just find nature, right? Like nature always brings us back to home. And so I really love these cards. They really sort of hit me in a space of groundedness and of connection. And so my first question is just what do we have? What can support us all in the week to come? What can support us all in this upcoming week? What guidance to the plants, the spirits, the earth energy? What is it needing for us? What is it trying to share with us right now? Hmm. So the image I get, first of all, um, is white sage. So whether I pick that or not, there's something about cleansing. There's something about coming into a space of cleansing and nourishing and grounding at the same time. And when I think of white sage, it's such a sacred plant, right? A medicinal plant, a spiritual plant, especially from the Southwest. And it cleanses our energy fields. It grounds us into our body, and it takes away like the chaos of the world that is not ours, right? Like of the ideas, the experiences, the energy shifts that we're perhaps holding for other people or feeling from other people. And the sage just sort of brings us home to self and center. And so I think that's really, really beautiful and really important. Oh, we got another beautiful card that does resonate a bit with the white sage. And I actually was looking at the willow trees by my house yesterday, and this is called the white willow, and it's the way of water. And if you look at the picture, there's very, very deep roots. And then this beautiful tree grows. And in the roots, they're tapping down to the flow of life and the flow of water. So very powerful and very potent. Um, I'm just reminded of where I live here in Tennessee. So I'm very connected to water. I've lived by the ocean for most of my life. And now I'm in an inland place. And one of the things that's really clear about being in an inland place is there's still water. And especially in Tennessee, there's tons of caves and caverns and these deep, deep spaces with waterfalls and underground rivers. And so knowing that we're always connected to that flow of water and that flow of life, even if we might not be in that space. So to me, this white willow card talks of a couple different things. The number one thing that comes up for willow is pain relief. Willow is a very powerful pain reliever. The plant spirit is very light and bright, filled with white light. And it's here to sort of balm us and to soothe us. It's here to sort of like, again, sort of cut through the chaos and bring us home to ourselves so that we can heal and so that we can relax in our body. In the nervous system, but even more so in the muscular system, in the pain body, in the energies that like we might be holding tension and tightness of. And so I'm feeling and getting this really sense of a soothing energy, an energy that's trying to ground us into being and ground us into a deeper space of peace with ourselves. And so don't be afraid to ask for help this week. Don't be afraid to not take lots of pain relievers. That's not what I'm saying, but to say, like, I need some help. So call in on the plants, call in on the trees. What can they do to help soothe me and bring me into a greater state of being, a greater state of connection and contentment? And the other thing that comes to me around the willow is with the water, especially in this card and in this picture, it's really about tuning in. It's really about tuning in to the flow of life and both allowing ourselves to be rinsed away and for it to be washed away, right? Like, what are we going to let the rivers and the waters cleanse us? All this collective shift we're going through that's happening on this deep, deep roots. What is being purified right now? What is being washed away at this time? And so that's definitely very important, very powerful to check in with and to know that whatever's being cleared from your being, whatever's sort of uncomfortable, and it's like, I thought I was done with this crap, knowing that that's part of what's happening now is we're being asked to let it go. And so let the water, let the flow of life and nature take it away. And then know that there is a depth to the experience. And where can we tap into the emotions? Where can we tap into the space of what's going on beyond our stories? And from that, where can we find the solace and that connection with the flow of life? After we let our emotions flow, after we allow ourselves to be purified, so things that can truly, truly, truly grow. So very powerful and beautiful card. I'm going to pull one more for the week. I think I'm going to go with another really simple card. And this card is going to be one of the Ascended Masters angel cards. And I find these cards very powerful, and they offer very simple messages, but also very powerful messages. And what do we need to know right now for this week? What does the collective need to know? So sacred practice, yoga, Babaji. So you might not be a yoga student or a yoga practitioner, but what brings you into greater state and awareness? What brings you back into embodiment and tune with your body? And where can you come to a space where you're like, yeah, I'm here. So meditation, practice, support, chopping the wood, carrying the water, doing the things that nourish and soothe the soul. So it's really, this week is about us. Like it's not so much about that. Well, it's never about the collective, but it's not about like how the collective is going to take us to different places. It's more about how do we come home to the self, and how do we come home to that space of the self. So our job this week is to nourish and allow and to come into center through whatever practices feel most aligned for us. Okay. So I'm going to start now with answering some questions. I did have 2 questions sent in to me. I'll start with Amanda's question first. The second question I haven't typed into the chat box yet. But with Amanda's question, she wrote, how can I tend to the land here? I'm feeling like I was called to bring Thunderbird to heal this property in some ways, but how? So I'm just going to take a moment. And so the first thing that comes really clearly, Amanda, before I even hold on to any cards or pull anything, the first thing that comes really clearly is inviting yourself to let go and to be the channel. So it's almost like you don't need to figure it out. It's not about you doing anything in particular. It's about allowing yourself to be in the flow of life, and then the flow of the resonance and the radiance of the moments. And that Thunderbird is going to work through you effortlessly. And so the more that you can open to a state of receiving or letting go of trying to figure it out, letting go of trying to know what to do, then it's going to just sort of move through you. It's all ready moving through you. The other message I'm getting really clear before I pick any cards, and I will pick some cards, but the other message that I'm getting very, very clear is that as you do your own healing work, and I feel like it with your partner too, as they do their own healing work, that too is bringing healing to the land. And what the land is saying to you right now, or saying for you to know, it's also saying, yes, you are here to bring healing through Thunderbird, but I'm also here to heal you. And so how can you find ground, and where can you let the ground support you? And I know there's a lot of work. I know there's a lot of stuff you need to do. I know it's like, it can be overwhelming at times. And at the same time, it's like, let yourself rest in my balm, let yourself rest in my experience, and let yourself soften and surrender. And I can give you the ground so that that greater work of heaven or Thunderbird energy can come through and do the healing. So it's like a symbiotic relationship, and it's a co-healing relationship that's happening. And so it's sort of saying, fall into me. And as you fall into me, that channel will become even more clear. Okay. So let me just take a moment and see what cards want to be pulled. So I'm going to pull probably 3 cards today. And the cards I'm going to pull, number 1 is going to be from a crystal deck by Maya Toll, same person who did the herb deck. And I don't know these cards as well, but they were saying, pick me, pick me, pick me. And then we'll see what the other 2 decks are from there. So what does Amanda need to know to support her in healing the land and connecting with the land and being the channel to bring the higher energy through? And I said it's I don't want to say symbiotic, but there's a connection there. It's really is a partnership. Okay. Beautiful. So it's obsidian. And in this picture, it's called Sharps and Shadows. And there's a scissors looking up. It's interesting because obsidian is dark. It's dark. And she actually doesn't bring that much darkness into this card. But so to me, number 1, obsidian is bringing you to the heart of the earth and the heart of the matter. It's bringing you to a space. I wish you could see the card a little better. I'll send it to you in a picture. It's bringing you to a space of deep depth. So it's going to take you to a place of deep healing and deeper healing than you've been, right? It's bringing you to the core of the matter, right? Bringing you down deep into the core of your wounding or into the core of the space so that you can shift that energy. And it's almost like from this empowered space, everything can open and unfold, right? So it's like through the shadow, through the core, through it all, and then the light can come. And the scissors, I'm assuming in the picture, are a way to really open things up and to shift things up for you. And to create light, to create newness, right? To break the patterns both within and then also in the land and in the space of the land. So very, very powerful. Obsidian to me is also about grounding. It's like, how can you ground? And it's interesting because in the summer, I'm getting, that's when it's sort of like, let the land hold you. And some of the deeper work is going to be done in the fall and in the autumn and the winter. And there's something about that time when the earth starts sleeping, that's going to be a time where the energy is going to come through, where you're going to be channeling the energy more, or there's going to be more for you to shift and move through it. So very, very powerful. I'm also going to pick one of these Ascend Master cards. There's simpler cards that wanting to come through today. But let's just see. What wants to come through for Amanda? What does she need to know for healing the land or working with the land? So very powerful Archangel Michael. He's so good for shifting the patterns, for cutting the cords, and his message is so positive. You can do it. So calling in on the angels for help, knowing that what's happening here and what will happen here, both within the land and within yourself, is a huge shift in patterns, a huge shift in consciousness. And just when you're ready or when you're feeling overwhelmed, call in on the angels for help, call in on them for support, and it will all come together with you for you in such a big way. You don't have to do it alone. Guides are on your sides. And try to stay positive and know that you're working with very deep level stuff here. And then the last card I'm going to pick is going to be one of these animal wisdom cards. And this will be more not just like, what can you do to heal the land or what do you need to know? But I think what will come here more will be what spirit or what animal energy is wanting to come in to work with you, and what can work with you on this land and in this space for your greater healing and for the land's greater healing. So weasel in reverse. Interesting. I'm not that familiar with weasel, so I'm going just intuitively on what's coming. I love it, right? Hi, Mina. How are you doing? And so what comes to me, yes, you may ask, you'll be next in line if you want, just if you can put your name and where you're from and then your question. So weasel to me in reverse is, it's not trying to trick you. So when it's right side up, there's a fear, there's an energy of trickery going on. Not so much like coyote trickery, but there is a sense of like, can I trust? Can I be in this space of trust? Almost holding back or holding on and keeping yourself from feeling safe or trusting in the process. And so when weasel's in reverse, it's like you have nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear, Amanda. And so giving yourself that permission to let go of all the things that you think might be happening and all the things that you think you might need to change or do, and know that you are in a safe space. You've been called to this place for a reason. You're meant to do the work here. And it's really about you letting go of your ideas of something being out to get you. I don't know if that makes sense, or there's something that like isn't safe. And it's very safe. There is, like I said, a partnership here at the land. There's a reason you're here. Whether it feels like it or not, it is a home space for you. It's a space for you to ground and open. It's a great space for you to blossom. I'm seeing that willow tree that we pulled in the beginning. And so knowing that you can let go and release and relax. Okay. So feel free. I know you can't type right now, but feel free to leave any messages that you might have. And hey, Annette. Hi, Nettie. Annette, definitely you're next after Mina. Mina's first. Thanks for letting me know where you're from. I'm just going to take a moment here and put these cards away. I'm Azrael. I live in Nashville, Tennessee. And yeah, I've just started doing these live readings, and it's really fun to meet people that show up. Feel free to subscribe if you like my channel. I'm going to be offering a lot more of human design, some Qigong, channeled updates, things like that as well. And every week at this time, I do the Tarot Tuesdays. So hi, Mina. You're from Pakistan. I have not been to Pakistan. It's someplace I've heard that it is just amazing people. I've spent a lot of time in India, and an amazing, yeah, just amazing place. So what are current feelings and intentions of Fahad? I hopefully I said the name right, towards you. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to just take a moment. So the first thing that comes, and I will be picking a card in a moment. First of all, you are such a bright light, Mina. It is, yeah, just you have a radiance about you. You're very open, and especially in response or in connection with Fahad, there is a space of light, right? And I would say hopefulness and connection. And the sense I get just tuning in, and I will pick some cards, but the sense I get tuning in is Fahad is not closed off to you, but there's a fear there. There's a sense of like, what's the right word? there's a curiosity there, but then a fear to make a step, right? Like and it's all around his own stuff or their own stuff. And in their own stuff, they're like, oh, like, how can I move forward? Or what may I be able to do? And so they're sort of like in the stagnant, like, I would say, like, fight or flight, fright or flight. They're in that fright space. So, yep. Hi, Bob. You're third on the list. So we're with Mina now and then Nettie, and then we'll have time for you for sure. So let's pick some cards. And for this cards, I'm going to pick my Rider-Waite deck. So this is a deck I've been using for 26 years. It was given to me, used by someone else beforehand. Very powerful deck. And I'm going to just pull a couple cards. And the question I'm going to ask is, what do you most need to know about Fahad? Both in their feelings, I think I explained what I saw, but also just in any steps or anything you need to know in the an energy and area that may be coming soon. So I'm going to pull a few cards and then I'll show them to you. Okay, I will stop here. So I might go through these cards sort of fast. I'm going to point out what comes. So first of all, when I was sort of connecting with my guides and angels after I laid out the cards, I got the sense that that there was going to be some movement and some shift, and there is going to be some action towards you, but that the action might not be so clear, and that there might not be, like, it's not going to be so necessarily easy and clear. And so the cards do sort of reflect that. I think that there is going to be movement. I think it's going to be confusing for a little while. And the first card I picked was the Empress in reverse. And so this is sort of, I think, just where you're at right now and what it feels like for you right now. So when an Empress is right side up, she's like love, fertility, beauty, like sort of like how I saw you energetically, right? I'm ready for it, for anything. But when it's upside down, it's sort of like I'm feeling a block in that flow. Like, I'm ready, I'm here, and how are things going? And then it's like, oh, but there's like nothing happening. There's nothing going. And so it's like, so there's this sense of a block, and this is a bigger block. This is a major arcana card. So it's sort of like out of your control. It's just divine timing right now. And it's the way that things are right now. Within the next couple weeks, I would think, maybe even couple days, there is going to be some movement. It might even be after this reading. You're like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit better, right? Like, and I'm feeling like, okay, things are okay. Maybe you're going to see some energy or movement or some interest from Fahad, some energy coming your way. And then we've got, so that's the 6 of Wands, and then we got the 7 Wands, and it's like, oh no, like, is it really happening? I don't know. He's giving you confusion. There might be some energy of like, I have to brace against what he's saying. He might not even be able to say, like, I'm not ready to show up right now, or there might not be clear stuff. It's more like, I thought everything was okay, and now all this sort of stuff is coming at me. Actually, what I get at that with that 7 of Wands that I just showed you, I also get maybe coming from other people, that like some of his family, some of his friends, some of your family might also be sort of like putting their words in. And it's like, wait, there's too much. Like, I can't deal with it. And then after that, again, probably within the next couple of weeks, next 2 to 3 weeks, there's movement. So we have the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords is sort of like, oh my God, like, I'm doing it. I'm coming. I'm getting past it. I see this as Fahad, sorry. And I see him sort of breaking through and cutting through like the stuff that's in the way. I see him sort of like, okay, excuse my language, but fuck it. I'm going to do it. Like, I'm getting past my fear. I'm going through it. And so then there's this movement, and then it's like, oh no, I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't do this. Like, it's this back and forth, this push pull, right? That I sense that there's going to be feeling. You might feel like there's mixed messages. You might feel that there's things that are in the way. Like, I can't trust it. What's going on here? And then the outcome, though, we have the 10 of Cups, right? And so this to me, I don't think it's going to be so clear as like, oh, 10 of Cups, romance, like in 3 weeks, we're going to be together, or in 2 months, we're going to be together. But I think there is going to be a stability that comes through. And I think that his intentions, even though he's back and forth, there is a desire. And as he works through his own processes, he's going to be able to show up more fully in the light. So it's going to be perhaps a time of uncertainty, a time of back and forth. And then from that, I think there's going to be more grounded awareness where he's going to be able to share more clearly. So my advice for you, or what comes, is not to try not to stress about it too much. Do your own work. Try to keep yourself in your own thing. I know it's really hard when it's romance and love and all that, but like, how can you come back to center? What is it that you need? Try not to let his back and forth affect you. I have a video on my site. It's a rose meditation that helps you to protect the field. I also have a Wei Qi meditation if you look under meditations, and doing things like that that bring you in your own energy field will help you out till he comes back into a more centered space. So, okay, I hope that helps. And thank you so much for joining in. All right, so Nettie, it's wonderful to have you with us, Nettie. I used to live in British Columbia for about 25 years. And yeah, thank you so much. It's so great to meet you, Mina. Namaste, or assalam. I'm not going to remember what it is, what the Muslim is, whatever the honoring is. So much love. So yeah, I used to live up in British Columbia for I just moved here 2 years ago, Nettie. So I love Canadians. I love Canada. And yeah, and I'm really glad you're here with me. So let me just take a moment. I'm going to just clear my field. And yeah, assalamu alaikum. Wishing you a beautiful evening, Mina. So I'm just going to take a moment, clear my energy, and open to the light. Asking if there's anything that Nettie needs to know right now. I'm just doing a general reading for her. So I'm going to start with picking some cards. I'm getting some images and energy coming through, Nettie, but before I go with those, I'm going to start with just picking some cards. And the first card that I'm wanting to pick is from a deck called the Gene Keys deck. And the Gene Keys are sort of a powerful channeling from Richard Rudd, through Richard Rudd. And they work on the human design system and with the I Ching. And so I just really want to see what comes through first for you around this. So this is for Annette, Nettie. What does Nettie need to know right now? Beautiful. I was actually just listening to this Gene Key the other day. And so this is the card of inquiry. It's a 63rd Gene Key. Yeah, Bob, I can at times connect with spirits for sure. I do connect with guides and angels, and sometimes departed people. It's not something I necessarily do on the spot unless I'm in a one-on-one session with people, but if they come through, I definitely will share. And so the 63rd Gene Key, this is really beautiful card. I wish you could see closer. My camera is not always the best, but if you could look, there's Ganesh, right? Ganesh at the mind, right at the third eye. And Ganesh is the energy who flows through our obstacles. He helps us through the obstacles. And this card is all about letting go of the structures of the mind, either within ourselves, so what it is sometimes we try and figure things out too much. We try and know the way, and it can be intellect, right? It can be being ungrounded. It can be stuck in a story or stuck in the head, finding it hard to come down. And sometimes it can mean that other people are like pressuring you and like, you can't be the way you are. You can't do the way you're doing. It doesn't work that way. It's sort of like getting in a space on the shadow level, being sort of stuck in too much thought and too much processing. And so when I pull this card, it's really inviting you, Nettie, to step into a space of like coming into the heart and coming into a space of being curious, right? Being curious about the story, being curious about your patterns, being curious about everything that's going on, but like not letting the mind or other people's judgments, other people's energies and stories take you. With the energy of Ganesh with this card and in this space too, it's really about calling on, I would say Ganesha, but any of your guides and angels for help to help move you past any perceived blocks. Because any perceived blocks that are in the way right now, they're all connected to the mind, or they're all connected to a belief system or a story. It's like, oh, well, that's not possible. How can I fulfill my greatest dreams? Or how can this come true? Because everything's in the way, right? Like I can't see a way out. And there is a way out. It's just not an irrational way. It's more working with that right side of the brain, the intuition, and that flow of life and flow of energy. So it's a really important time now to be curious, and really important to like notice when you're overthinking, over processing, or trying to figure things out too much. And so I'm going to share a little bit about what I saw when I tuned in for you. Is I see all this light around you, and I see that there's like, and it's very soft and it's very gentle, very powerful. And at the same time, there is this, I don't want to say, it's almost like a blanket. So it's not a block, it's not something too heavy, but it's almost like, how do I connect? Let me just sit with the words. I want them to come through me. How do I, it's something about like almost, how do I open to this light? I don't know the language of the light, or this blanket, or this energy of what is right now is like keeping me. It's not about vibration, but it's about keeping me from fully receiving the light that's there. And the light isn't like super high vibration. It's not like you're ready for it. Like it's there, you're ready for it. It's soothing, it's calming, it's opening. And yet it's sort of like there's something that wants to melt before this light can come in and infuse your being and your experience. And I think some of that, again, it's just about shifting perception. And so calling in on some of your guides and angels to bring that in. I will use some of these cards again, my Rider-Waite deck, to pull it in and see what wants to come through. And again, the question I'm going to be answering, I'm just going to clear these decks first. And so the question I'm going to be asking is just, what does Nettie need to most know right now? What would be most helpful to her right now? Hi, Chicky. It's nice to see you. Chicky or Lexi. Feel free to leave a question. Bob's ahead of you. And I think I'll have time for one more after that, if you like. So what does Nettie most need to know right now? Your guides are saying smile. Oh, beautiful. Okay, I think I'm just going to pull these two cards to start. And then I'm going to also pull an Ascended Master card just to see if there is one word. Okay. So pulling some of these cards, I actually might pull a few more. You're going through somewhat of a hard time right now, and this hard time might continue. And yet it is the greatest gift that you can go through right now. If there's something shifting within your relationships, if there's something shifting within close friendships, or just in life in general, it's happening for a reason, and you're being brought into a space of greater empowerment and greater connection. So the first card I picked was the 10 of Cups in reverse. Now, this card is so good that even when it's in reverse, it's not a bad card, but it's sort of saying, again, similar to what I saw, you're having trouble or a disconnect from connecting to like the higher good right now. It's sort of like, I know things are okay, or I know everything's happening for a reason, but in reverse, it's like, I'm not feeling it, right? I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling in this space. I'm not feeling in this connection. It's like things aren't moving so easily. And some of the other cards I picked really had to do a lot with your own self experience. So I picked another, the main card I want to share, but we've got the Three of Cups in reverse. It's like, I'm not really having fun. I'm not really able to access or connect with joy right now. My community, I'm finding it really sort of hard to be with. The Nine of Pentacles, it's sort of like I'm feeling caged. This speaks of freedom from the caged energy. It speaks of like jumping out. Like, again, you're getting ready for a big shift. There might be a shift within your life that you're moving through where you have felt caged, you've sacrificed for others. And it's sort of like, no, it's time to get out. It's time to move, but it feels hard. We have the Empress in reverse, which came up in the last session or the last reading. And it's sort of like, again, like sad, right? Like disconnected from self. Like I thought I had all these things going. Thought I had all these things happening. And it's like, I'm not seeing the creative flow. I'm not seeing the romantic flow. I'm not seeing the connection. And the King of Wands in reverse, which again speaks to me of relationship, but it could also be around creativity, flow, community. It's like, I'm not able to fully trust in this bigger process, right? And so I want to give you hope because the main card that I picked, the first two cards I picked, this was one of them, is the Star card. And this means like all your dreams will come true. No, this does not mean that things that are not healthy for you are going to come true. Everything that's happening is in alignment with a higher good, a higher place, a higher path. And it's like, trust in that. You are moving through an initiation of sorts where that light is going to come in, where you are being blessed, where you are being taken to where you need to go on this deeper soul level. And so again, anything that's in the way, call on help from your angels, call on Ganesh, and give yourself that energy and permission to really flow forward and in that space. Okay. And then the last card I picked was the Apollo, focus upon your strengths. And in the Apollo, focus upon your strength, Apollo is fire. It's the sun god. It's the sun guide. And he's saying, I'm here. I've got you. Support. Don't look outward. Go inward. Come into your fire. Come into your truth and give yourself that permission to really tap into the greater spaces. So even though things are a little bit challenging right now, you're sort of stuck not in the head, but in the process of it all. And I do see this process going on for a little while. Know that that it is for a greater purpose. It's to connect you in a greater way. It's part of your path, and the light of your soul and the light of the stars are leading you there, and all will be well. But this is just part of your bigger process. So I hope that helps and makes sense. And feel free to leave any comments you like. And yes, Mina, the other one might be under Qigong meditations. If not the meditations, it's called the Wei Qi Fields, the 3 Wei Qi Fields. Okay. Okay, Bob, if you're still here, feel free to leave a question and let me know where in the UK you're from. I used to have a dear friend that I traveled with there extensively, and he was from Devon, and I loved it there. So my pleasure, Mina. I'll give you a second, Bob, just to see if you're going to leave a question, if you're still around. Okay. And otherwise, I'll move over to Lexi in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, Alexis. It's lovely to meet you. And as I said, anyone who's on watching now, feel free. Okay, great. Awesome. Bob's here. Yes. Thank you, Nettie. I hope it made sense. Oh, I've been to Wales too. My friend's brother was living in Cardiff. I think they live in Swansea now. So wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to go with Bob first, Lexi, and then I'm going to move on to you. Feel free again. I'd love it if you subscribe to my page. I'm here every week, and I am offering a lot more things, or will be weekly things. I'm glad it helped, Nettie. Yeah. Okay. So present and future may be a message from a loved one. Okay, perfect. So this is for Bob in Wales. I'm just going to take a moment to ground and clear. And again, I want to express my gratitude to you all for being here and being present, and all the angels and guides. So the first thing that comes, Bob, is before I pick any cards, is and again, I do feel like this might be an ancestor. I don't know if this is who you're hoping to speak to, and you can definitely, if you want, if you have a specific person, feel free to ask one question for them. But one of I feel like it's a woman. Again, I don't think it's a guide. I think it is someone more ancestor or someone, yeah, ancestor, mother, grandmother, yeah, someone along that lineage, but she's pushing you forward and she's saying go for it. So the first thing that comes is like, if there's something you're holding yourself back from, like go for it. There, you're getting pressed in the back of your heart, so the back of your heart chakra, and it's sort of like, don't be shy, don't be scared. It's like move for it. And so if there's something that you're curious about right now or that you're excited about right now, and a little bit scared, there is support there. You're being asked to follow your heart, and you're being asked to jump into your heart space and to move forward. There's a lot of the being that is doing that, sort of pushing you forward a little bit. Oh my God, like very powerful energy, very funny energy. They've got a spark and a liveliness there. And they're just sort of like not egging you on. It's not a negative way at all, but they're like, they've got this like sparky and fiery energy that's just full of joy. And that's like, go for it. So they're really encouraging you to step forward into the self. Okay. And then as for present and future. Okay, I'm going to pick a crystal card first. And then after I pick the crystal card, I'll probably be picking from that Rider-Waite as well. So these crystal cards come from the Maya Toltec. And I don't necessarily follow her readings for them. I follow just what comes through. And so what does Bob most need to know? Or what's the message? What's the crystal energy that's moving through? And I really get a sense, Bob, that there's something that's wanting to move through you. It's I'm getting like Ace of Swords energy, like cutting through matter, cutting through spirit, and making like stepping forward. Interesting. And so the card I got from the Mayatel crystal card, it's not technically crystal, it's amber. And the words at the top are, what are you becoming? Right? And so in the picture, and again, my camera, unfortunately with the YouTube streaming, it's not that great, but there's all these old bits, right, that are being held in the amber. And then the amber puts on this like phosphorescence glow that's allowing new things to come into birth. And so there's some sort of metabolization happening. There's something happening where you're taking the old, you're taking what's happened, what's been stuck there, and then what's wanting to move through, right? What's wanting to move through, what's wanting to shift, what's wanting to become. So metamorphosis is the word that's coming for me too. There's something really important about connecting with the roots. So it's interesting, again, you're looking at perhaps messages from loved ones. So tuning in and connecting to the roots, connecting to the ground. I'm getting in the UK as well, connecting to the ancient medicine of the earth there, of the druids there or whatever, of the beings that did inhabit Wales in the ancient times there. And like taking that, and there's something in that power, something in that wisdom that's wanting to draw you forward. The other thing that really comes for you from this amber card, even though amber is a sap, it's not necessarily like a root of a tree, but it's related to a tree in a sense, right? Like that dried energy is grounding. Grounding is very key for you right now, and it's really key into bringing you into a deeper connection with self and with this movement that's coming your way. Okay, so I'm going to pull a few of the Rider-Waite cards, and I'm going to just take a moment and clear them. Then I'm going to go ahead and just call in the energy for Bob. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Bob. Oh, I get shivers. Oh, just want to take a moment. So she, just so you know, well, I get feminine, she or he, but I get feminine energy through her or through them. I don't feel like she was the one egging you on. As I said, I feel that was more of a grandmother lineage, or mother on your mother's side through that lineage. Someone might not even be someone you know, but your partner is just, she's more of like a calm presence and a grounded presence. She is, first of all, she's okay. I really want to let you know that she's okay, or they're okay. I'm sorry if I'm using the wrong pronoun, but they're okay. And they're also still present with you. So how do I say this? It's not that she hasn't moved on. They have moved on. They're not like a ghost. They're not like in there. They're safe, clear, free. And yet there's an aspect, or cord is not the right word, but they're still there for you right now. They're still present with you, on the side. On the side and in the space, especially towards your left side, left back, holding your shoulder, sometimes touching the back and the front of your head. She's there for you, not so much because of her, but she's there to bring you solace, to bring you peace, to bring you connection. She does want you to know, that even though things happen very quickly, and that there was probably some fear, and even within herself, within her passing her experience, some fear, that she went with the light and that she is fine. She's more than fine, but there is I don't know how to say this, because I don't want it to feel like she's tied to you or anything, but there's still work that she's wanting to do with you, in the sense of providing you grounding, providing you connection. Don't be afraid to call on her. Don't be afraid to like she says, like even hold on to like a piece of her clothes, or like if you want to connect with her, it's like she's like, I'm right there, but you can touch, you can touch part of me and know. She doesn't want to hold you back from anything. There's nothing to hold you back from. She's not here to keep you from living your life or going on to experience your life. But right now, she still says a part of her is coming down to give you that comfort and space that not that you need, but like just that she's there, like that she's there until you're ready to let her go. And even when you let her go, like she'll still be there in the level of spirit, right? Like, and it's very clear she doesn't want to hold you back. But and I just keep seeing like this sweater or the scarf or something that like she used to wear. And again, it might not be true or anything that you resonate with, but she's like, just like touch it, like, right? Like, or just like have that there, like if you need comfort, right? And it's something that's soft and sweet. And oh, I can imagine you're such a mess, Bob. I can really imagine. And that's where you say, see her, feel her. There's something about the piece of clothing where you can feel her. It's very soft. It's very soft and tender. So I'm holding you in that. And I think when I see the sword cutting through you, and I have your other guide, like your other ancestor pushing you forward. And I don't think that other ancestor is like, don't grieve, right? Like, it's like, oh, you shouldn't grieve and just go to the light. But I think they're just encouraging you to live. And then that sword, even though this is so challenging, it's also going to open you up to a different pathway in time of being and of light. And yeah. So I'm gonna just pull a couple cards for you. Yes, keep that clothing right now. I'm getting shivers about that. She's just like, she was very clear about that, right? And she's gonna be with you. I don't want to say she's gonna be with you for as long as you need her, because it's like, but she is. She's not like, just know her presence is there until you're ready, till the grieving process is there. And not that she's gonna like leave forever. It sounds so bad, like so hard to say, right? It doesn't sound bad, but like, just know that like when it's time, she's going to go more into the space of greater consciousness overall. But right now, just know that you're not alone. Okay. Know that she's with you. So I'm going to pull a couple cards and see just what comes. Hmm. Okay. So there's no big major arcanas or anything coming up anytime soon. So I think I'm just going to go through about 6 cards. So the first thing is ask for help, Bob. Ask for help, especially on a practical level. Get people to bring you food, right? If you can't cook, like if you're finding it hard to struggle, you can't even eat, like ask for help. There are people there to help you and to like bring you in, right? Even if you can take a little bit of time off work, even if there's anything there that you can do. Now, work might also help focus you, but just ask for what you need and know that the help will be there. Reach out to your friends, reach out to your family. It's a time of loss, it's a time of grieving. So it's going to feel really stagnant right now and really unsettled. Both these cards, we have the 6 and 6. So 2 6s, 6 of Cups in reverse, 6 of Wands in reverse. So Swords in reverse. This means no movement. It means being in it, right? Being in emotional stagnancy, being in a place where you're feeling stuck, feeling in a place when you're disconnected. And the 6 of Cups is like losing a loved one, right? It's like being in a place where you feel disconnected, where you're not feeling like it's not like the joy of reunion, right? Like it's loss. And so knowing, and I know you know this, it's part of the process. It's part of the process. And as that happens, give it the permission. This is going to make you stronger. This is similar to the Ace of Swords I was seeing earlier. There is going to be movement in time. I'm getting 2 to 3 months on this, right? Like, it's not that you're going to be like in a heavy sleepwalk state for 2 to 3 months, but it's going to take time. There's going to be up and down. And then there will be this big shift that comes, right? And this shift that comes where it's like, oh my God, I can breathe again. And in the breathing again, there's still the grieving, right? There's still the loss, but it's seeing the potential and the possibility, movement, opening. Okay, I see the light, right? And then it's going to be like, no, I don't. And a period of like perhaps grief, stagnancy again, guilt, right? Like for feeling like that you had that hope, even feeling like things aren't moving. How could I have felt things were moving, right? And then from there, we've come the King of Swords. And so I'm going to close with the King of Swords in that it really is about finding a ground and coming into a place where this grief does not leave. It's not about it leaving, but it's more integrated, and you can find a stability and you can find a strength. And from this strength and stability, you can move on and move forward and take those steps forward. And in doing that, you're going to be familiar with sorrow. You're going to be familiar with both sides of the sword, but then it is going to be that time where you can move forward and make those, make your next steps. And you are like on some level, even though we didn't get the death card up, we didn't get the 10 of swords right now, you're going through a death. Not just a death of your beloved partner, but a death of yourself, right? And everything that you were before now is not the same. And so you're going to be reforged in a new sword, new steel, right? Ready to come out and move forward. But it's not, you're not going to be the same as who you were before this, right? And you don't have to be, you don't want to be, but that's part of the process. And so just being gentle with yourself, asking for help is key, and then giving yourself that permission to grieve, right? And to know that that's all you need to be doing right now. And I honor how hard it is. I really, really do. If you're curious about like support or like light work, I have tons of free meditations on my site that help bring us into the body, that bring us into a space where we can open to consciousness. Doesn't make the problems go away. It doesn't make the loss go away, but it might tune you into a space even for a few moments of peace. So feel free to check them out and open to them. And I'll be holding you in so much love, so much love. And so Alexis, I'm going to finish out today's session with you if you're still here. I live in Nashville and I love Atlanta. I do not go as often as I would like, but I think it's a fabulous city. And yeah, I was hoping Amma is on tour and I was hoping she was going to come there and that was going to be my excuse to go. But yeah. But I really like Atlanta and I'm so sorry, Bob. I'm sorry. Know that part of it is just keep asking your spirits and guides and yeah. And I'm just, yeah, ask from any space in any place. Okay. And great. I'm so glad you're still here, Alexis. Okay. So let me go to your question. Do I have a love offer coming through within the next 4 months? Oh, I like that question. Okay. I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to just clear my energy and then I will see what cards want to be pulled and we'll go from there. So the first thing I want to say, Alexis, your energy is really vibrant. It's really beautiful. It's really bright. You are open and you are ready. So just so you know, if nothing has been coming through or if nothing is coming through, sorry, there's a little screen thing going on here. That something, it's not because of you. You are so alive and bright and amazing. And so I really just want to honor, like I get this like effervescent energy with you. It's grounded, it's bright, it's alive, it's beautiful. And so I really just want to, yeah, support you in that and let you know that if nothing does come through, it's just because of divine timing. I also want to say that what you're calling in and who's here to match you and to be with you, they want to be, it's like you're not ready to settle, right? You're not here to settle. So you're calling in someone, I think they're going to have a very different energy to you. They're not going to be as like necessarily as bubbly. They will be as bright, maybe a little bit more grounded. In that masculine energy, if it's on the masculine sphere, but more grounded in their energy. And so knowing that what's wanting to come in for you is big, okay? And so just really honoring that. So we're just gonna take a moment. Okay, I'm gonna start with an Ascended Master card. I'm gonna just take a moment and clear it. Now I'm asking just and connecting with energy of a love interest coming in for Alexis. So I honestly, like we'll see what the cards say, but I think, yes, I do really feel like it's ready. Time is right. So I got two cards. One dropped out at the very beginning, and then the other one is the one that I felt drawn to pick. And so the first one already came up in a reading today, and this is the one that dropped out. It's like continuing to focus on your strengths. So what comes to me around this is the number one thing is you are ready. So it's not about you searching or looking, it's about them coming to you. Now, that doesn't mean you can't go on a dating app or things like that. Of course you can, but it's really about knowing that you are ready, you are enough, you are vibrant, you are the light, and bringing your awareness and your work and your energy there. And then the second card that comes up is Kuan Yin. And this is one of my favorite cards. And it's like, let it go. So it's really about letting go how it happens. So you can, like I said, do some dating apps or whatever. My sense is, I don't want to say it's not going to come from the dating apps, but it's going to come from a more organic source or an organic way. It's going to come in with the mystery of the earth and the mystery of the universe. And it's going to come in and just sort of like meet you when you least expect it. Now, even though this card says let it go, one of the things that I'm seeing when I say it is it might be really potent or powerful for you to either write a letter or to do a ceremony where you really ask for what is it that you're calling in, or what is it that wants to come in, and then putting it out, like lighting it on fire or taking it to a body of water and letting it move out, letting it go to the universe, and then letting it go. It's not about focusing on it every night. I'm dreaming in this person, right? But instead about coming to a place where you like really clearly ask for what you want and then let it go and put it out there. And then I'm gonna use these cards. I find that these cards are really calling for my attention today. I'm gonna just clear them really quick. Okay, and again, just putting it in the cards, this energy of Alexis, and whether there's going to be love in the next 4 months or anytime soon. Okay. So I'll pull the cards and then I'll let you know what comes. Okay, I'm going to start here. I'm going to actually just shuffle them and just ask for one more card. If there's one more card for clarity. Okay. Big stuff. Okay, so you got major arcana. I pulled 4 cards. You got 3 major arcana cards. And yeah, it's going to come in the ways that you least expect it. So the first thing is balance. And this is on one side, and then we have Magician on the other side. And in between, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So this is sort of what I see in the energy of the old question, or of the whole question, and what's flowing. So the first thing, it's again, bringing that energy to yourself, finding the nourishment, finding the space, noticing, hi, Ayushi. I don't have time for another reading today. I would love to share with you, but I'll be here next week at 2 p.m. Central Time. And feel free to come visit me then or leave that question and I'll answer it then. So it's really about balance. It's how to bring yourself in balance. And as I said, when I feel your energy, Alexis, and when I tune into your energy, Alexis, you are like, you're alive, you're bright, you're flowing, you're amazingly beautiful. And so it's like continuing to do that work on yourself, continuing to come into that space of trust in yourself. The Magician in reverse. Now, this isn't necessarily what's going to happen, but I see it more as a direction of like what not to do. It's not about trying to create it. It's not about losing yourself or pushing yourself out of the boundaries to create magic. It does go in alignment more with that space of the let it go and the surrender instead of trying to push and to make something happen. You're not here to make it happen. It's here to come through you and for you. And it might come through work, if that makes sense. It might come through something practical. The other thing that comes to me with this card is the Ace of Pentacles, is there's going to be a new opportunity for you in work or in the practical sense. There might be a move, and we'll get into that in a second. There might be a shift. There might be something that jumps forward and jumps and moves you out of where you're at now. So Ace of Pentacles are all about new beginnings. So we can look at this, it's not typically a love card, but we can look at it in the sense of a love as a sense of it happening with work or meeting someone very stable, meeting someone that is financially doing well financially, someone that like I said, when I saw them was very much more grounded, not like a stick in the mud, still very bright, but grounded, settled, awake, aware. And from this new seeds may spark. It might be also a job opportunity comes for you, or an opportunity to make a shift physically. And in that shift is where the energy of the love can come and the flow can come. No, it's interesting because then the card I picked, I just wanted some clarity on this, right? And so I don't want this card to scare you. I think it's really good, but I got the Death card. And so what I got is that with this new opportunity, with this new shift, whether it be romance or again, an opportunity that's going to lead you on the path to that, it's going to mean big change. So one of the things is to be open for shift and change. This can be a change as in going in the new relationship. But what I'm seeing more is that it's going to be a change or a sense of change in your life. I don't see anyone dying. I don't see you dying. I don't see anything like that. I see it more like everything that you thought you knew is going to open up to something totally different. So this could be moving. It could be a shift in residence. It could be a new relationship, again, that blows you off your feet. Could be a new job opportunity that's going to open things up for you and shift things up for you. So know like what comes to me, and I don't know if this is really correctly answering your question, but what comes to me is that you're in a space right now where life is wanting to open up for you. Things are wanting to open up and shift for you. You do not need to control it. Your job or the important thing for you to do is to stay balanced, find your balance, and keep your balanced, right? And so that's going to be central. And then from that, as this change and these opportunities, I see it as a positive opportunity is going to come. It's going to take you to where you need to go. And even though the cards didn't get really clear on romance, there were no romance cards that came up, I feel very clearly that it's very possible, if not likely, that someone is going to come in and be part of this shift and change, whether the shift and change happens and that's how you meet them, or whether it's part of it all. Yeah, I see it. You're ready and the time is right. So thank you for coming. Hi, Feminist Alchemist. I've been reading for an hour. I usually read between 2 and 3 on Tuesdays at 2 Central Time. So feel free to come next week. Feel free to leave your question. I can come back to it and post it in the thing next week if I know you're going to be there, and make sure that it get answered. And same with you, Ayushi. Yes, I'll definitely do that for you. And you'll get answered next week on the recording, even if you can't join in. I can't take anything right now live though. So thank you so much. I'm here every Tuesday, and so much love to you. Feel free to follow my page if you like. And yeah, and Alexis, I hope that made sense for you, and I hope you all have the most wonderful and amazing day. So much love. Bye.